Good Tuesday evening, YouTube modeling community. Pappy here at West Georgia Rods and Customs. Got the next part of my tutorial series as far as casting your own parts. We're ready to break this. Mold box up that we fabricated in the last three episodes. So as you can tell, everything is pretty good and set up. Nothing squishing out of it. So we're going to tear it apart and we're going to see what we got. As you can tell, I actually, what I like to do right here, I take my X-Acto knife and I just trim right down through there, cut where I hot glued everything. Makes it opening a little bit easier. So as you can tell, it just pulls right apart. And I'm just going to peel, and you can see how easy this stuff, especially with this fiberboard, how it works as far as being able to get your product, or as far as your mold out of get it out of the box. So here we go. Let's see how we did right here. I'm gonna take this and just start start seeing where I've got. Now, like what I was talking earlier in the series about undercut, and I'm going to show you what undercut is. And this is a good prime example of what it does. How this silicone tends to, if it finds a little opening somewhere in the in a mold, or especially like up under this fiberboard, it's going to seep right to it, and it's going to leave you with a little thin. That's why I stressed that when you're gluing your part to the fiberboard, make sure that you put an even coat all the way around the edge. That way that silicone doesn't go up under that and it creates that flap. Because right here, I'm fixing to show you just as soon as I can get this peeled back right here. And yep, that's what's going to happen. I got one part that didn't, that's not pulling off with it. Oh, two parts. But there, see, a lot of my parts stayed on there. A couple didn't though. I'll set that to the side but all right, here's what I was talking about undercut right here. See this little flap, little flap? This is on the outer edge. And right here is another, if you can see right there, that little flap. That's not bad on the edge right here, especially on the outer edge of this mold. Reason being is that it's it's not going to form any of the parts that I'm trying to pour. What'll happen is if it's over in the part itself, it'll leave a little jagged edge, and it doesn't allow the resin, when you pour it, it kind of gets up under there, and leaves an area for an air bubble to pop up. So, but as you can tell, let me get this up closer to it. Let me grab Scully's over there. He's off today. All right, this is the oil pan. This is actually a set of the heads right here, and these are valve covers for the big block 396 water pump. This was the let's see what didn't come out. I think that's the oil filter, and I think that's the starter if I ain't mistaken. But what do we got right here? We got the block. We got the block just kind of hiding out still in the resin. Before I get to it, let's pop out the show you how easy this stuff comes out. And really, that's why I stress about having about anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inch. You always want to leave a little space between your part and the actual bottom. So, somewhere around about that much right there, about a 1/4 inch. That allows to where you can kind of see how pliable this stuff is. But let me pull the starter out, and it's going to be a bear. No, there it comes. Whoop, I can take it. That's what I got my tweezers out here for. It's kind of like pulling a tooth. And right there it is. There's the starter. Set that to the side. Don't want to lose that. Let me get all my trash out here. Set these back down. And we're gonna delaminate. This is called demolding the parts. Now right here you can see that little flap. See that's I'm gonna trim that off once I get it out. Evidently some of that silicone got over there. But if you can see that little flap right there, that's what I call, that's called undercutting. And you don't really want that, but I can trim that off. That's actually long enough. And let me see. Yep, I don't have one on that side, just on this one side right here. And let's just keep pulling this out. See how easy these parts come out. And there's the block. That's the block that I poured for the big block 396. And right there, now let me grab get my finger out of the way. Let me get this up here. See that little small flap right there? I'm gonna take my X-Acto and just take I'll take a set of tweezers and hold and pull this out. And I'm gonna trim that just right with that edge down through there. And just take that little flap off all the way around. That's where that'll be where the oil filter mounts at right there. So I'm gonna take that over to the bench. I'm gonna trim that off here in a little bit. And I'll take, just kind of lay these down like that and just whack them off with a good sharp X-Acto blade. But that's to me, that's a successful mold right there. I'm looking forward to pouring some items in this. Now, what am I going to do before I pour any resin in this? I'm going to let this set up one more night. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it in here and I'm going to take it to the sink, take some Dawn dishwashing detergent once I trim these flaps off, and I'm just going to spritz it down with some water and some Dawn, and then I'll bring it in here, set it on the bench overnight, and then I'll be ready to cast some parts in it tomorrow. I was watching my video. I like to, once I post my videos on YouTube, I like to look back at and see what kind of mistakes I usually do make. But if there's one thing on here that I forgot to put in this, it's guess what? A manifold. I forgot to put a manifold in here. I do have a mold for a manifold, single carburetor for a big block. I think I've got that in the, I think I made a mold for that in the, I did a 454 not too long ago, and those 454s and 396 manifolds. Single carbs, those are pretty much well the same. So I'll utilize that, and as far as that particular mold for this engine right here. But there it is. That's the big block 396 that we're going to be casting some parts in here pretty soon. But I'm gonna go in here and get it washed and everything. But I wanted to show everybody how easy these parts come out. And all I'll do right here, I mean, you can just pretty much just take, that's the oil filter, and let me pop. And there's really no residual glue. As far as if there was, you can just take and just scrape it off with your fingernail, or just put it in just put it in a cup of water and let it get softened, and you can, it'll come right off real easily after that. There's of course, yeah, that's gonna be a little tough for some reason. That head pops right off, and let's see if this one there we go. That one comes off, and see if that valve cover, valve cover pops right off. But there it is, and probably I'll be able to save that particular piece. I've already utilized that, so it's got a little rough surface on it. So, but I can always flip that over and glue some more parts on there for a second time. But any of this that I used right here, nah, it's scrap. But there we are. That's the second. That's I think this is the fourth part of the mold series as far as getting ready to cast your own parts and everything. Once I get this washed up, we'll set it over here, let it dry. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna mix up some resin, pour it in here, and show you how easy it is to have you 2 or 3 big block Chevys laying around for any of your builds. Anyhow, folks. If you can dream it, build it. God bless y'all. Pappy out of here.